Hey, what is up, YouTube? It is K-Rod here, back with another good video for today. Um, Wanted to talk about my fight prediction on Miss Beautiful Alycia Baumgardner that will be fighting Miss Beautiful Terri Harper for her WBC and IBO Super Featherweight titles. Yeah, let's talk about it. So, for those of you that don't know, Alycia Baumgardner, she out of that um, Bingham Farms, Michigan. Mainly, she trains out of Detroit with Tony Harrison and his brother. Out of the good old Motor City, the Paris of America. But yeah, Alycia Baumgardner, she's 10-1. For those of you that don't know, very good fighter that was on the come up, and I guess she had some really good, decent wins in her career. Not the best form of competition placed in front of her. She has defeated girls like Nydia Feliciano, Kiersey Simmons, which that was a supposedly close fight, and I guess Christina Lina Darto, which that was a very close, split decision loss that she had taken, but when she came back, she just started taking girls out quick because she's that good. But I guess prior to her recent fight with Vanessa Bradford, she had an 8-round unanimous decision victory. And the only reason why she has been out the ring was mainly because that she had suffered, I believe, like a torn ACL and injury, which not a lot of athletes can really recover that well. But for her to come back within 2 years, which it could have been quicker, but I guess COVID hit, so she wasn't, I guess like in full preference to get a fight in. So it made all the sense in the world why she, basically took all that time off, and she definitely perfected her craft, and she looked very good against Vanessa. But now for her facing, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, just a little bit tired, but for her facing Terri Harper makes perfect sense for her career because Terri Harper is a good, credible opponent, and that'll definitely elevate Alycia's stock up to the next level, and it'll be way easier for her to unify for Undisputed if she can get past Terri, which I think Terri, she's very vulnerable to Alycia. I think this is a 50-50 fight. I want to say 55-45 because Alycia Baumgardner, she has way better tools than Terri, and I'm going to break it down pretty quick on here so I don't lose focus. But for those of you that yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh, tired, man. Yeah, but for those of you that don't know, Terri, she's a 24-year-old girl from the UK. She's 5'8", got a 65-inch arm reach. She has a 50% knockout ratio. Not really that much of a knockout puncher per se. She has gone to some good battles with some girls, but I mean, if you look at like her fights against Eva Wallstrom or Vivian Obanoff compared to like, and I would probably say the Natasha Jonas fight, she really hasn't been able to stop anybody. She I wouldn't say she's much of a knockout puncher. She's more of just like a volume boxer puncher. But compared to Alycia, she can hit hard, and she could definitely hurt ladies a lot more on the scale of becoming more like basically becoming more dangerous as the rounds do go on. So Alycia, she's more heavily favored into having more danger in her punches. But I don't know. As far as like Terry's punches go, it pretty much showed like as the competition stepped up for her, she isn't really, hurting anybody, if I'm gonna keep it real. And I think in the Katharina Thanders fight, she really only, like stopped Katharina mainly due to Katharina or yeah, mainly due to just Katharina just not having good defense, and she was just taking like unnecessary blows, and she was only successful of stopping her mainly due to a referee stoppage. But she obviously didn't really knock anybody out. The last person that she really ever knocked out was back in 2018 against Beck Conley, and that was pretty much it. Like all the other knockout or TKOs that that we see here, it's not really too much of like knockouts per se. Like, actual knockouts would be like ladies that got slept, and I don't see her really sleeping that many ladies. But now that we see that the competition has gotten tougher for her, I don't ever see Terri really hurting that many ladies. And I think her power is a little bit overrated. She could obviously hurt somebody and make it hard for somebody to handle her pressure when she has good combinations together, but the problem with her style is that she has to have time to think about it, and she can't think of it on the fly because she's not a fast thinker. She's like almost similar to Shakur Stevenson in a way, which I don't want to put her next to Shakur, because Shakur is, a way different fighter than her, and she's obviously not a southpaw. She is a orthodox, but I'm just using Shakur as a good mini example to say like how she uses her ring IQ is just simply just due to Shakur's ring IQ, where she has to take time out of what she wants to do to her opponents, and she needs to develop space in order to make a valuable methodology move against her opponents, whether that's using certain combinations to get a rhythm going and then she's able to be successful. But I don't really see that out of her, being successful towards Alycia. And I guess to basically break this fight down, I think Alycia is going to basically just dog walk Terri, just by looking how she's built for 130 versus Terri. I think Alycia is a true natural 130 pounder, and I think her style of fighting is a bad style matchup for a lot of ladies. So I think what she needs to do, knowing that she'll be the shorter fighter against the taller fighter Terri, is that she needs to break her mental capacity in the inside, and then make the fight more into a dogfight. And I think when she gets Terri to an uncomfortable position, then she could start outboxing her by starting to force her to her back foot. Because Terri, she obviously doesn't like to fight off of her back foot. She's very uncomfortable. But I truly believe like when she's on her front foot and when she applies pressure on the pedal to use more elusive shots to hurt her opponents, she's obviously able to do that because she has time to think within a fight. But if I'm Alycia, I just duck under and I force her to the opposite side by using lateral movement to break her down to the body more. Because Alycia, she's a great, but like to me, I think she's a great body puncher. She has like the Adrian Broner type of body shot technique when she goes to the body, and she pulls she obviously pulls off a little mix of AB mixed with Errol Spence, and it's kind of funny because I kind of feel like she takes a couple of their skill sets and then she emulates it to her own. But no, Alycia Baumgardner, she is a pure boxer puncher. And I think what she's been doing lately in her career is only just the beginning, especially with her new trainer being converted with, I guess, Tony Harrison's brother and Harrison himself. So I want to say she was trained by Tony Harrison's father, and then he eventually passed away. So that's what really like threw off with the whole focus. But then once she got injured prior to the Christina Pacheco knockout victory, she wasn't able to really do that much because she was hurt, and then COVID hit, so that really held her off really bad because she had to get her body right, get her legs right, and make sure that she's ready. But just based off of like how she's been progressing as of lately, I think she's more than ready to take away what's hers already. Because what I like out of Alycia is that she's a really like she's a very stand up lady. She doesn't care what anyone says to her. She's all business, and when she gets it going, she gets it going. And that's what I love out of a woman that cares about her future, and she cares about building a good foundation to be successful. And what I see out of Alycia is that she's more hungrier, she's more determined, and she just has like more of a dangerous mindset compared to Terri. She does have a good drive. She doesn't come to play around, but I think where Alycia's mindset is and where her levels are in the game, I think she's going to, style on Terri, and she's going to give Terri a lot of issues. I'll probably give it maybe 8 rounds or less to probably go to a knockout because I don't see either of these ladies making it to the 10th round. It's either someone's going to get knocked out or someone's just going to tire out, and it's going to be a retirement in the corner. Just simply because of like the relentless pressure that either ladies can do to one another. But I think Alycia will be the more successful fighter. But knowing that she is the shorter fighter, Terri, she could really just basically stay off of her, or she could just stay reliant off of her jab. And I think what she'll be doing this entire fight is forcing Alycia to not come into the inside. And what she'll try to do is just make sure that she is just not, allowing Alycia to pressure her off the ropes, because Alycia, she's very successful by getting a lot of women hurt off the ropes. But, if she's able to clip you with like a good jab and then just trade off with like a good counter left hook or a counter right uppercut, I personally think Alycia, she is phenomenal. She is lovely, like when she does those combinations. And Terri, she's a sucker to get hit with a right hook or a straight left jab. So I just think like where she falls into the place of getting clipped, it's really due to those hooks or it's due to an uppercut. And I think the Natasha Jonas fight, as her most recent performance, really showed a lot of flaws that she obviously knew that she had to work on and she had to, improve better on. But I think, it was just due to Natasha's style, because Natasha, she's such a beautiful technician, off the inside, and she gave Terri a war. She thought that she won the fight, and Terri, she thought that, like, to me, like when I saw her facial expression, I thought Terri felt like she lost, and it made all the sense in the world of why she had that expression, because she kind of thought that it could either go either way. And I mean, it made all the sense in the world why Terri would think that way, because if that wasn't to be the case and she thought that she won by a landslide, then she wouldn't have gotten, touched up like that. So I don't know, man. It's like, it's gonna be almost just like that fight, but just way worse, where Alycia, she's not coming to play around. And I mean, if it's gonna be in Terri's backyard, I don't understand why DAZN likes to do this a lot for a lot of UK female fighters, especially those that are world champions. But to me personally, if this is gonna promote women's boxing, you need to have this fight in America, especially if the judges are not gonna rob a fighter, which I mean we almost saw that with Jamie Mitchell and Shannon Courtney. So I'm just hoping like Terri Harper, she doesn't get that home cooking treatment against Alycia, because Alycia, she obviously comes to fight, and she's not gonna let Terri just beat her around the bush and just basically have her own way to win. Because even if Alycia does lose, she's probably going to lose to a very close, split decision of some sort. Because I would never think that Alycia Baumgardner would allow somebody to beat her, off of a boxing technicality. But I just kind of feel like with how these UK fighters are kind of bred, especially the female ones, they really rely off of their home cooking that they receive from the judges if they're not fighting well. And I'm not saying that for every fighter, but a good number of UK fighters are not comfortable fighting overseas, and they think fighting in their own home country makes themselves better, because if it's in America, they feel like they're going to get robbed, but that's not true, because we seen some UK fighters do spectacular in the United States in the past, like Lennox Lewis, defeating all the big top heavyweights or whatsoever. But, anybody that has done, things the right way to win in America, it's actually out of good intent, because those American judges that do actually care about the sport, they actually give proper scoring to the right fighter. But it's like most American fighters don't need a fight outside of the country, because American fighters already prove themselves enough to the judges that we do hold the deeper pool of competition, and we are number one in the world when it comes to having the best fights in boxing. So it's like, regardless of what people say, like America is your ticket to becoming that bigger star. And I think what Terri should probably do is that she needs to start fighting outside of the country, because I think a real world champion should obviously test her limits in other parts of the world, and actually go through adversity against competition in different fan bases, where they could possibly either gain fans or go through the fan base that gives them pressure. And I think Terri, she has the potential to do it. She's not really out of the woods in boxing. And I mean, even if she were to lose to Alycia, her career is not over. It's basically at the beginning, and her phases will start to mesh in well to become a more decorated and seasoned fighter. So I just think where Terri's at in her career, she is still growing. She's still learning on the job. But as for Alycia, she's definitely skilled. She definitely has a lot more veteran type mechanics learned in boxing. And I think if Terri allows Alycia to catch her with things that she doesn't see, I think Alycia could end up stopping Terri, or it's going to be a wide, unanimous decision victory or a split decision victory for Alycia. Because Alycia, she does not let people beat her to a boxing match. I would even say for the Christina Lena Darto fight, that was a very difficult fight where both ladies were tired, but Christina, she was getting she was getting pieced up. She was getting, beat around the bush, and she was getting touched up in certain rounds. But I think it was due to the fatigue that where both ladies they were clinching a lot, and Christina she just didn't want no parts from the inside against Alycia, and Alycia she was hitting her to certain parts of her body where she was trying to avoid that, and once it came to the end of the fight, that's when Alycia she started to turn it up as best she could, but then eventually it just didn't work out because Christina she tried to make a lot of excuses for trying to hold, but I guess she got her little protectionism at that time of the fight. But no, Alycia has gotten way better, and her skill set really shows that. And even in her recent fight, she definitely looks a lot more sharper. Her skills are just up there, and she's definitely ready for a world title opportunity. And I just think where her stock is at right now, she's definitely up there. So hopefully, hopefully, Terri Harper can lose to Alycia. And I'm only rooting for Alycia because I think she's a tremendous lady. She has a great backstory. Plus, I always support Black American female fighters and other countrymen fighters, but still, it's just it's just a spectacular moment to see this fight being made at the 130-pound division. So whatever happens out of this fight, definitely like to see Alycia beat the crap out of Michaela Mayer if she's able to win her fight against Maiva Hamadouche. But if that fight can't be made, definitely unify with Queen Mi Choi, that South Korean girl. Definitely take her out the woods. And yeah, I would say that's pretty much it, honestly. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see this fight. I think Terri is in for a very bad style matchup, only just because of Alycia's athleticism and the sheer will and power that she possesses more against Terri. But it's gonna be interesting to see what Terry's gonna do against an opponent that has a lot more veteran IQ than her. So I'd like to see how this fight plays out. But for those of you that have watched this video, please hit the like button. And yeah, we'll chop it up again. Thank you very much. Goodbye.